Good afternoon. The Labour leadership election will be settled in Brighton in just a few hours' time. The new party leader will almost certainly be Neil Kinnock, and it looks increasingly likely that Roy Hattersley will be his deputy. In the last half hour, delegates from the huge Transport Workers' Union have decided to back Mr Hattersley instead of left-winger Michael Meacher. They'd already decided to support Mr Kinnock for the leadership.
A stroll along the seafront and beach is obligatory for party leaders at conferences, even if you're not quite there yet. Neil Kinnock and his wife Glenys appeared used to the star treatment already. But then Mr Kinnock became a little too obliging for the photographers. Mr Kinnock must hope that mishap wasn't an omen of things to come for his leadership. Labour's National Executive Committee also met this morning for its usual pre-conference session. And with the left set to regain lost ground in the elections to the executive, the new leadership will immediately face the need to do a balancing act in battles ahead. And Roy Hattersley seems virtually certain to become one half of that balancing act as deputy leader. While he was appearing at a Labour Solidarity meeting, his supporters were claiming he'd win on the first ballot, whatever the outcome of vital union delegation meetings now going on.
Whoever tonight becomes the new leader of the Labour Party, it is the Labour Solidarities campaign's absolute and overwhelming duty to make that new leader the next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. We are the organisation which above all else wants to see the Labour Party in power, not as an unhappy compromise between a protest movement and a pressure group, not as an updated version of a socialist Sunday school or a polytechnic debating society. We want to see the Labour Party in power, changing the face of Britain and bringing a democratic socialist government to this country.
A 20-year-old student has died after a fight outside a Huddersfield football ground. Richard Aldridge, a Keele University student from Stroud in Gloucestershire, died after he and his companion, both Chelsea supporters, were involved in a fight with 5 rival supporters. And a British engineer was among 8 people who died when fire swept through a hotel in South Korea. He's been named as 54-year-old Charles Howard. The fire in the southern city of Masan gutted the 2 top floors of the 4-story hotel. 30 people were injured. The American aircraft carrier Carl Vinson sailed into a seaborne protest when she visited the Japanese port of Sasebo. The flotilla of demonstrators were angry because the carrier is nuclear-powered. They also suspect her of carrying nuclear weapons. The ship is the newest in the US Navy and over 90,000 tons. The Americans call her the biggest moving object on Earth. And that's it for now. Jan Leeming will be back at 6:25 when we hope to have the result of the leadership contest. But you can see live coverage of the voting on BBC 2 at 6:20. Now let's have a look at the weather chart.